Hey guys, welcome back to Cooking with the Frisbees. I'm Beth. Keith is behind the camera.
Hey.
And today, although it's a very, very cold day on January 21st, but we're going to go ahead and start prepping our beds for this year's spring summer garden. Mostly because I know we're getting a lot of rain tomorrow, and I'm going to go ahead and add some of my Sure Start fertilizer. This is EB Stone. This is the one that I prefer, but really just any soil fertilizer is fine. And then we also use blood meal. And this is really great for leafy vegetables, but tomatoes, anything vegetables, period. So we're gonna go ahead. We've got compost that we're going to turn and put down in the beds. Again, let that rain come through and soak it all into the beds. And then right before we're ready to plant, we'll go ahead and get some compost and fill these beds back up so they're topped off again. We do this every year because just the rain compacts them, and we do a no-till. So it makes it a little bit easier on us. Granted, you have to pay for soil, but it makes it a little bit easier on us. So that's what we're doing today.
I see you've pulled up the irrigation.
I pulled up the irrigation just, except for this side here. We still have some semblance of carrots left. Hoping that maybe come spring we might be able to pull some up. I don't know. We had, as you can see, there's not a single vegetable left except for this very sad Brussels sprout. That was it. That's it. And it's just about dead. Unfortunately, we had a very large possum get into our garden and literally eat everything it could possibly eat in one sitting. And then I covered everything because we had really cold temperatures, like 8-9 degrees. So I went ahead and covered everything, but it didn't matter. It was just too cold for too long, and everything just died off. So I pulled the blankets off of it, and then he came in for his second meal and ate the rest of everything. He also ate the tops of all the carrots. So my hope is that there's still a carrot down in the dirt.
The tops have started to grow back.
They're growing back. So that's my hope. I'm just gonna not disturb them and see what happens. Because these will ultimately be tomato beds and tomatoes grow up. So if my carrots want to continue on growing, let them just keep going and see what we get. I don't know, we'll see. We'll find out. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but we got one bok choy that I pulled up before, which was enough for one dinner. That was it. And everything else was decimated either by the animal or by the freeze. So
now you think about that, because it wasn't just us. It was like all of our friends, some of the people that we follow on YouTube. Everybody got
unless
decimated.
They had a high tunnel.
So what's going to happen this spring when you're out trying to buy veggies?
You can't buy, you're not going to be able to find them. You're not going to find cauliflower and broccoli like we thought we were going to get.
Nope.
And I mean, even Brussels sprouts, I mean, they're very cold hardy, and they just couldn't handle it. It was that
just
cold.
Weeks, like 2-3 weeks of
freezing,
single degrees and
yeah.
Wind chills that went down to 0. And I mean, that's cold for here.
It was too much. So that's okay.
We got a lot of prep to do. We're excited about the spring garden.
Yeah, we've got some new beds that we'll put together and show you, that we're going to put at the top of these 2 raised beds.
Yep, they'll go up here.
There and there.
And then we're
going to finish this off. I know, it's been a year.
It is what it is, yeah, but what else has been hanging around for a year?
Yeah, it's about to tip over.
A pallet of rock, it's going to put itself down eventually.
Right?
Like it'll just roll down the hill and let it settle where it naturally settles. I mean, why be upset?
So the one thing I can show you, though, come back down here. I caught right after he decimated everything else, and he ate all the kale and all the lettuces. And then again, it got really, really cold. But look at this. Dun, 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 baby greens.
It's back.
I don't know how they're coming back, but hey, I'll take it.
Oh,
I will take it. So that's what we're doing today. I might prep, depending on how much potting soil I have, I might prep a couple little cups so that when I am ready to seed start next week. Can you believe it? I'm starting my peppers and eggplant. So I'll talk to you guys about that when we start it next week. But now,
you gave up the strawberries.
I did give up on the strawberries.
Yeah,
I'm
back
done.
here where the hoops were and the strawberry plants is no more. Never more.
We never got one strawberry in 3 years.
Not one.
No, we did get one. I got one, and it was deformed.
So you see, that work has already been done back here. We did that last week. And then this is our compost over here, which...
That Christmas tree needs to go away.
Well, it's got to be cut up.
It's not going to compost. It's too thick.
Well,
You can't do branches.
Well, the trash men are now very picky about what they pick up. So they didn't pick it up, so I brought it back here. Maybe it'll be fill for one of the beds we do or something like that. But I'll get it cut up. But in the meantime, we're going to put
yakking.
all this nutritious stuff in here. And I got to build that up too. There's a lot of work. So it's January, but there's work to be done. So let's get busy getting busy. We're going to try this again. I tried to film and it said no SD card. This is one of my Christmas presents. What a game changer this thing is. Totally protects my neck. Anyway, I got to get busy. So look at that. That's some good nutrients out of there. And when that rain comes in tonight, it will be absolutely perfect. It'll wash all that in. These are leaves that we've gathered. We have our lawn guys put all of our grass clippings that have a lot of nitrogen back here, as you can see. Oops, sorry. That was pretty full. Now we're down to having nothing in there. So this is kind of our rotation. We keep it in rotation. Yeah, I see this Christmas tree here. I'm gonna have to cut that up. But we just rotate. Like, I'll take this in the springtime. I'll move this over to this bin. That way we can start some new mulch. We got a lot of building up that we got to do, stuff like that. So yeah, it's looking good. Everything's cleared out. Beth went ahead and fertilized over here. I don't know if you can see this. You can see, actually see the fertilizer in the beds over here. So everything's fertilized, and I was hearing something running around behind the house over here. Don't know what it is, probably a bird or something. At any rate, let's take a look back. Ronnie's over there barking. You can see, sorry about that. Hey guys, so a lot of work's been going on down here. Woo, I tell you, you realize winter can make you get out of shape really quickly. You know that? Just showing you behind me, these beds that I just did, all that compost that I had to pull up. It's not easy to get that wheelbarrow up there, I can tell you that. We got all that done. So Beth is upstairs starting some seed stuff, so we're gonna go up there and take a look and see what she's got going on. So Beth, what you got going on here?
So I am prepping my plants or my pots for my seedlings for next week. Usually I do this all in one day, and then I'm exhausted at the end of the day. So I am pre-potting my little pots here. And then next weekend we get to start planting. So next week I'm going to start my peppers and my thyme, which I'm just going to plant a bunch of it and hope.
Because we're running out of time.
We never had time.
Ah!
I had no time last year. I had one little measly plant that lived, but it just didn't give me very much. So I'm going to plant a lot more of it in hopes that I will get some that survive. And then peppers, because they take a lot longer to germinate. I'm planting 4 types of peppers this year. So jalapenos, which we've done before, shoshitos again, poblanos again, because I got no poblanos last year. And then I bought a new really hardy bell pepper.
God, I hope so.
I know. Because you eat one a day, right?
I do. And
during the week.
You have a friend that has a garden. He says his neighbor gets tons of them.
So, I don't know, but this is it. So, it's a classic bell pepper. Nothing special about it except that it's been bred to have really sturdy stems. So the fruit should not fall off. The blossoms that the fruit comes from should not fall off.
Isn't it disease resistant and high yield? And
all of it. All the things that we could breed into this particular classic bell pepper, we did. But again, like I said, they take a long time to germinate. So I'm going to go ahead and get them started. I know it's really super soon, but by the time they go into the ground, I want them to be at least 12 inches tall. That's my hope.
Ooh,
I know.
Tall.
That's a lot. But that's my hope. That's going to give them, I think, the best chance.
Aren't you going to have to repot at some point then?
Yeah, because these ones are pretty small.
Yeah.
But
those are...
Again, we keep these going.
God, I'm so glad we bought those expensive things.
I know, but they're going to last for years and years to come versus these little flimsy ones that we used to pot in.
Yeah, I wasn't happy about the expense of it, but I was really glad when I saw how sturdy they were.
They're just, they're not going to crack
4-inch by 3.5-inch opening, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
So you don't have to repot the seedlings.
They're a good size for almost everything that I'm going to be putting in the ground, that I'm going to be transplanting from these pots they'll go directly into the ground, and I shouldn't have to this is just a seed starter.
It's wet.
Yeah. And what was I going to say? Oh, that's right. We also need to make sure that we get that shade cloth up that we bought last year that we didn't ever put up. We draped it over the tomatoes, but we didn't secure it. This year, so I'm planting my tomatoes very differently, and I'm so excited we get some new tomatoes this year. I'm not going to do, all I'm doing are big boys and cherry tomatoes, or grape tomatoes. But I got new ones, so I got yellow big boys.
Yellow,
and little yellow grape tomatoes.
So what color are yellow tomatoes when they start growing? Are they green and turn yellow?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just just like a red one, except that it turns yellow instead.
Well, that's a lot. And then we've got 2 new raised beds that we're going to build. We'll show you guys when we start doing that. We're going to put those at the top of the hill. And then I got garden boxes that I got to plant at the top of the hill. I got a lot of work to do.
We have a lot of work to do. Well, we're getting a jump on it, though. I mean, I really, like, this is a great start for me. This way, I'll go ahead and get the rack set up, and then all I have to do is just plop seeds into my little containers. So everything will be ready to go. We really need another rack, if I'm honest. We really just need property. Well, we're looking into that. So the hope will be, after we put all this work and all this effort into making our backyard a little urban homestead, is to really go to a bigger homestead, and we're looking for 10 to 15 acres of property. And we're going to be picky about it. It's probably going to be farther north Georgia, maybe South Carolina, maybe Tennessee. Not sure. When the right property comes along, we're going to start visiting some. We'll take you guys on that journey, because we want to have, it's got to have water on it. I don't want it all field. I want some wooded, some field. I want to be able to dig a well. And then for a house, we thought about putting like, I call it a double wide, but modular homes. But now we started looking at something that really piqued our interest. The barn-dominium.
Barn-dominiums. Like, they are huge in Texas.
It's super cool, though.
Yes, they're huge in Texas.
If you think about a barn, right? So if you were to get a modular barn, just 4 sides, right? And then inside you would create what you needed, whether it be stalls, a tack room, a feed room, whatever. But it's the same concept, but you put the walls in for bedrooms, bathroom, kitchen, living room.
It's a great thing. We're going to bring it to Georgia, and I'll go in a little more detail about what that is. But it's a great option. It's kind of like a really nice modular home. But we're looking forward to doing that, getting some property. It means that we get to start all over again. Love that. But maybe not.
No, because
I mean, if we can find a farm, we're not opposed to something that's already set up with a barn on it that we can just start adding to.
And I mean, we're not going to have to be building raised beds. I mean, my hope would be that we would have a fenced-in area, that's
a high tower,
maybe a high tunnel, that we can go ahead and plant directly into the ground, instead of having to create these really high raised beds.
It's a lot of work.
It's still going to be a ton of work.
I mean, some of the folks that we follow, like Roots and Refuge, they've got like 20-some-odd acres, but she built this whole field of raised beds.
Yeah.
And I think it's because if you're in South Carolina or you're in Georgia, you have clay.
Exactly.
And it is not nutritious. It is not good to grow in. It takes years to get that soil right.
Yep.
And we don't have that kind of time. Like, we want to grow some food. So raised beds could be an option. So raised beds, high tunnel.
A mix of them, which it'll be interesting to see. So when we put together the new little raised beds that we purchased, so they're fiberglass.
No, galvanized.
They're galvanized steel. Okay.
Yeah, they're galvanized
but they are
steel,
painted.
but they're painted. Right.
Yeah, so that they won't rust. We'll put those together. They're about 5 by 2, right? 5 feet long by
about,
2
5
feet
60
wide.
inches by 24 inches by 17 inches deep.
Yeah, so, and that's going to take some filling. We're going to need to get some dirt to get those filled, but I do think, though, they're going to be a great option for my rooted vegetables. So
That's
beets
exciting.
that haven't ever taken, carrots that are still growing. I think they're still growing.
They look like they are.
Yeah, all of my tubular stuff. So sweet potatoes, regular potatoes or white potatoes, roots, beets, radishes even, because my
Sweet
radishes
potatoes.
I haven't had. Yeah, sweet potatoes. I just haven't had any luck with any of those root vegetables. So any of my tubular type vegetables are going to go in that, in the hopes that it's going to be mostly nice, soft, loose soil that they can just root down into and grow.
Let's hope so.
Let's
hope
hope.
so. We got to
Let's
get
hope.
good dirt this year and good compost. I've actually looked online. Facebook Marketplace is a great source for stuff. And there are people that actually sell chicken manure compost,
Yeah.
horse manure already composted. And we just may have to hook up the trailer. If we can't get it at Costco where we get it, and it's usually very good, like the stuff we got at Lowe's didn't even have a smell to it last year.
Something was wrong with
Yeah,
it.
it
was super dry.
Yeah, it inhibited our growing season.
Yeah.
Who knows how long that was sitting there. So this year we're doing a lot of prep to make sure that we have a very, very successful season. And
Hopefully no
fingers
more
crossed.
critters, because I am going to replant my
I'm going to put up an
brassica.
electric wire around the outside of the fence, hook it up to a battery and solar panels, and Bentley
Zap
and Bella will only touch it once, and then they won't touch it again.
Right.
But hopefully that'll happen with the other critters too. So we got work to do. I just want to come up here and see what Beth was doing, and we'll be back. So what's a barn dominium? A barn dominium is basically your home attached to your large garage / workshop / outbuilding. And it's a big square. On one side of it, we'll probably have 3 huge doors that we can pull the cars, the tractors, the side-by-sides, and keep them in there. And then there's a door from there that goes right into your living space, where we'll probably look at somewhere around 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, or 3.5 bath, nice master on one side of it. But it enables you to go in and just build the kitchen that you want, the outdoor space that you want. Generally, they don't come with basements. It's just on a slab, and we're not worried about that because we can make that slab as big as we want to. So if you get a chance, just Google it or look at YouTube. That's where we go, and look up barn dominium tours.
Or post frame. Some of them are called
Post frame. It's a very, I'm not going to say inexpensive, because the one that we were looking at building is probably going to end up in today's market being around $250,000 to $260,000 to build it, but it will be absolutely gorgeous. But the same house built from a builder in a subdivision or something like that, that home would probably be a $400,000, $500,000 house. So it's a great way to do it. Go look it up. It's something that we've decided on. We're very excited about it. We're going to go do it. And as I sit here talking, I really need to go start Willie up. That poor boy's been sitting out here in the cold, and he needs to get started up. So I'll be back. All right, guys. Well, that's it for today. I think we've done enough. I'm winded. I'll tell you what, moving that wet compost is ridiculous. So I got to start Willie up. I keep saying that, but I can't do it when I'm trying to film because he's very loud, even though I put that muffler on it. We've got some new garden beds. Beth mentioned we're doing some raised garden beds. I'm considering putting them together, or I'm considering just like taking the afternoon off and doing nothing. Beth has, we're going to be filming tomorrow a cooking episode because Beth is making
cassoulet.
It's something that her brother sent us in a kit. It is an all-day process, so there's going to be a lot of 8-hour cooking. Oh my God. So we'll be doing that, but there's stuff I got to do around here. I got a new little long chainsaw because we're going to have to trim back some of those trees because it's filtering too much of the sunlight now. I thought really pretty before we started gardening to have a park-like backyard. Now it's not getting any sun. So I got to start like cutting from underneath and taking the canopy up really high. So that's it. A lot of hard work today, getting ready for spring. Guys, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, helps us out. I see that our patronage is starting to go up, which I love, which means you love what you're seeing. Look forward to the spring garden and some other things, and that's it. Guys, we'll see you next time.